Think eating too little will put you in starvation mode and stop fat loss? Let's bust this myth. There's a lot of confusion about what happens when you eat very few calories. Some say your body shuts down fat burning completely. That's not exactly true. Today we're unpacking what starvation mode really means, how metabolic adaptation works, and why long term success depends on more than just slashing calories. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Weight Loss War podcast. I am your host, Trevor. As usual, we are going to start off with a quote. Today's is by Albert Einstein, and he said, "Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new." All right, so let's jump right in. Today, I wanted to cover something called starvation mode. And what does that even mean? What's actually going on here? What I found out that people mean when they say they're in starvation mode is they usually mean something like, I'm hardly eating anything and I'm not losing weight, so my body must be storing everything as fat. But the truth is, your body doesn't just stop burning fat because you're eating less. What they are saying, and what my research found, is that when this is happening, you're more likely experiencing metabolic adaptation, not starvation. So, what does that mean? Metabolic adaptation is when your body's is not when, it is your body's natural response to low energy intake over time. And this is something designed to help you survive. So when calories drop, your body is going to do a couple of things. Your resting metabolic rate is going to slow down. Your hormones like leptin and thyroid are going to adjust. And then you are going to feel more tired, more hungry, and less motivation to move. But this is the key here. You're still burning fat. You're just burning it more slowly and with more resistance. True starvation, on the other hand, is a medical emergency. And that's where the body breaks down muscle, organ tissue, and eventually shuts down. That's not what is happening here when someone is going from 2,000 to 1,200 calories a day. Your body isn't just stopping fat loss when you're on low calories. You're slowing down. It's slowing down. But it's not stopping. So let's not blame it on starvation mode. But this is why extreme calorie cuts backfire in the long term. And here's where the danger comes in. Crash dieting is the enemy. It's not sustainable. And it can backfire in the long run because you're cutting too many calories and you're doing too much cardio and you're ignoring protein and strength training. What you're doing here is you're losing muscle, not just fat. And less muscle is going to equal a slower metabolism. We've talked about this before. We are trying to maintain as much muscle as possible and lose fat when we are on a weight loss journey. So when you are losing muscle instead of losing fat, your weight gain is going to feel even faster and you're going to gain it back even faster when you're done with the diet because your metabolism is slower. We have talked about this again in past episodes, but the key to long-term metabolic health is to have muscle. The more muscle you have, the harder your body has to work to maintain it. That's just how it works. So when we are losing weight, we're trying to maintain as much muscle as possible. We do this by some sort of resistance training, whether that's body weight exercises, lifting at the gym, whatever. We are trying to have some sort of resistance training where we are doing or activating our muscles, using them so we're not going to lose them. When we do that, we're going to maintain a lot more muscle than if we don't. And then we need to focus on protein. The more protein we are getting, the more we are going to maintain the muscle. The more of the building blocks our muscles need to maintain themselves we have, the better they're going to be at keeping our muscle mass. So, we need these things. It's not just, it would be nice if we are going to have a long-term, healthy life, a higher quality of life, and be successful when we are finished with our weight loss journey, even though the entire point of this podcast is that we're not done when we get to our goal weight. We are just beginning. But the point is, we need to do those things that are going to help us maintain our weight loss, have a higher quality of life, and set us up for success long-term in the future. And that's why we don't recommend these extreme diets. We don't recommend things that are going to be fads. We don't recommend going to extremes. We want something that is going to be sustainable, that we can do forever. That's why I recommend macros. That's why I say we need to set up some sort of exercise plan. We need to do these things that are going to help maximize our quality of life and help us remain consistent and help us maintain our results moving forward. So anyway, I'm going to end it there. The takeaway here is that your body is going to adapt to lower calories. It's not going to stop burning fat, but if the scale is stuck, it's really likely due to muscle loss and water retention or inconsistent habits. And so the way to fix this is to work on doing the things that are going to lead to long-term results. Fixing our nutrition, doing some resistance training, building up our muscle again, creating sustainable habits. And then we will be able to focus long-term and get out of this starvation mode. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I appreciate all of you who are listening. If you liked this episode, subscribe, comment, like. It really does help. And I will be back next time.